This is my 2025 YT Decoy SN. I've had this bike now for probably 3 weeks maybe. I've been riding it without the camera primarily so that I could just focus on how the bike feels. Riding without the camera really does help that. But before we get started, let me just introduce you to the bike. I think this has got to be one of YT's best looking bikes. I think they did an outstanding job in the design when it comes to aesthetics, but also the build itself and the price point for the build. It's not stock anymore. I've gone ahead and made it my own, but for $6,300 the bike comes with the base level RockShox Zeb 170 travel front, the RockShox Vivid out back for 160 mils of travel. TRP brakes, DHR-EVOs, are stock on the Core 2, which is what this bike is. It comes stock with the SLX drivetrain, which I've had SLX before and it works really well. So straight out of the box, you could ride this bike and just shred with it. It's not going to disappoint you. It's not going to give you any shifting issues. It comes with, you know, house branded YT bars, which I think are really cool looking. Race face stem. What else does it have that it's stock right now? The ODI grips, the saddle. I guess I was expecting to swap it out rather quickly, but I haven't. It feels good. Their dropper post functions really well. It's updated and I believe it has travel adjustments. The Continental tires, pretty happy with the tires, so that it came spec'd with that, it's pretty impressive. It's so beefy as well. From the rocker link here, from the chainstay is super wide. It's a burly, bulletproof enduro e-bike. Here's another thing, you gotta appreciate the attention to detail. YT provides this tool mount with a little tire lever, and underneath the tire lever it's got a bacon strip. It also comes with the water bottle. I mean, how cool is that? And so I think for $6,300 is the best bang for your buck from what I can see out there on the marketplace. I had a Heckler SL. That bike retails for $7,300, so about $800 more. And the build on the Heckler SL it's not great. I want to say you're paying more for the brand, but I think it's that Santa Cruz is not direct to consumer, whereas YT is. I really like how quiet it is. There's no cable rattle. I like the stack height of the bike because on the steeps you don't feel like you're gonna go over. It's pretty aggressive. So smooth. So smooth. I think the back wheel took a bit of a beating, but it's super solid. Whew, that was good. I didn't sell the Heckler SL because I didn't like the bike. I just had a thing with e-bikes at the time, and so I sold it. But the bike was great, but it's more trail oriented. This bike, however, it's got more travel. It's got plow to it. This one is just more enduro oriented, and that's clearly what YT was after. One of the questions that I get, does it feel underpowered? If we're comparing it to the full fat Decoy, yes, because it's an SL. It's got a 60 Newton meter motor, whereas the Decoy has an 85 Newton meter. But within its own class, mid-power e-mountain bike, I guess it's what it would be. I think it's the right amount of assist. And there are times where I have to get off the saddle and, you know, put a little bit more effort into it. This is probably the steepest, longest climb here at the local. What I'm hoping to share with you here is a couple of things. One is how the motor sounds. So let me stop talking so you can hear it. The other thing is pay attention to my breathing, because this is what I mean about this bike not being a full fat e-bike and still therefore requiring you to put some effort into it. I'd rather trade this bit of extra work for the natural feel of the bike on the way down. Let's talk about range. I just completed my ride and I logged, according to Strava, 13.5 miles, and I have 21% battery life. Let's just go in terms of estimating how many more miles I would have been able to ride if I would have drained the battery. 79% of battery life divided by 13.5 miles. If I had 21% left, 21 divided by 5.85 plus my 13.5, I would have gotten a total of 17 miles. Now that was in rocket boost mode the entire time. So 17 miles, about 2,500 feet of elevation. That's pretty darn good for a local ride. I am 175 pounds, and so obviously the rider weight plays a part in that. So that is range for this bike. I think it's pretty good. If you're in the market for an e-bike that feels like a regular mountain bike, but you can definitely pedal farther because it gives you that assist, then yeah, this would be a good bike for such a person. That's where I'm at with my YT Decoy SN Core 2, and I really hope that this video brought some value to you. If it did, or at the very least if you found it entertaining, just hit that like button. It helps the channel. Subscribe if you haven't. There's more coming your way, and yeah, I will see you on the next one. Thank you so much for watching. Until then, ride your own ride and God bless.